by linesman Murphy.
Remember a game here a couple of years early in the hockey game. Scott Stevens broke his across the back of Dino Ciccarelli, and it was mayhem from then on. Ciccarelli tried to get anything. Ciccarelli tried to get even with anything in red, white, and blue. And you know, you expect certain teams to have real tough, fight-filled games when the Flyers come in, or now the New Jersey Devils. I think some of the games that have been the craziest have been one against the North Stars, another against the Winnipeg Jets, a game that you wouldn't expect to be a real bloodbath. But sometimes in these unexpected situations arise the craziest incidents.
I saw a story in the paper today about some of the Patrick Division teams maybe taking their non-divisional foes too lightly. What do you think about that?
I can understand how that would happen because it's so intense in this division. You really seem to battle your division opponents almost night after night. Here you see the North Stars and you think you're getting a break, and it's certainly not the case tonight as Minnesota played a very aggressive physical game and it's given the Capitals, and particularly the Capital Stars, plenty of problems.
All right, here's Fraser. Out to Paschak. Now Rouse throws it back inside the Washington zone. Scott Stevens behind the net. Lead pass to the blue line. The play cut off. Now Murphy recovers and starts to center. Paschak to center, puts it back inside Washington territory, and Murphy plays it on the left wing. Hardy back to his own line. Bounces it into Washington ice. 18 minutes to go here in the third period. The game tied at 2. Hunter back in the corner. Musil wings it up the boards, and Gavin starts out. Now to center ice. Musil gets across the line. Hatcher throws a hard hit on Musil, and Hunter takes the puck away. Over to Ledyard, to Hunter. Lead pass for John Druce, but it goes too far back inside the North Star zone. Archibald to center ice. Hunter plays it free. Courtnall back to Hunter. Inside the North Star zone. Throws to the side of the net, but Courtnall can't get to it. Stuart Gavin. Up the boards to the point. Ledyard a hot drive and a stick save made by Taco. Stars clear it out to center ice, and Ledyard dumps it right back in. Here's Leach on the right wing. Cuts to the goal. He's tripped up. A shot. Saved by Taco. Rebound at the side of the net. Picked up by Leach. Leach skates it out to the point, and it's taken over there by Ledyard out of neutral ice. Sheehy flips it in toward the Minnesota goal. Taco the save, and Hartsburg turns to start out. Dave Archibald back inside the Washington zone. Langway's there. And Leach tries to help out. Gets it to Franciscetti. He tips it off the boards and clears it all the way back into Minnesota ice. North Stars completing a line change. The puck cleared back into the Washington zone. The icing's waved off. Langway picks it up behind the net. Rod Langway out to Bob Gould. Here's Rouse. To Gagne, who leads the North Stars in scoring. Dumps it back inside the Washington zone. And the Capitals come out with Bob Gould and Dave Christian. Up with Franciscetti across the line. Gould's pass stolen and cleared to center. Here's Stevens. Now to Murphy. At the side of the North Star net. Larry DePalma. Out to Dave Gagne. He works to center ice. Brings it ahead for Mo Mantha. Mantha throws it into the corner. Murphy to Stevens and back to Ridley. At the blue line of Minnesota. Here is Hardy. To the Washington line. Murphy takes it away. Misses Ridley and Miller, and the puck sails all the way down. Ciccarelli collides with Stevens. The puck goes to the corner. Here's Hardy to work it free. Kelly Miller pressed against the corner boards by Mark Hardy. Again, the Stars break to center ice. Larry Murphy steals the puck. Back inside the Minnesota zone. Back to Scott Stevens. To Larry Murphy. Over to Ridley. Here's a penalty call coming up. A delayed call against the North Stars. And the whistle blows just as the rush starts down the ice. De Palma and Ridley were nose to nose. Washington will go on the power play. There's a break in the action with the score. Capitals 2, North Stars 2.
Period gets the first one of the third, a high sticking call at 5:23. Yet another Capital power play opportunity. They've converted twice tonight, but they've also given up one shorthanded goal. That happened on the last penalty that De Palma took in the second period.
For the North Stars, add an assist to Bob Rouse on the Stuart Gavin goal. Gavin from Gagne and Rouse, shorthanded at 16:57 of the second. Here's a scoring chance, a shot, and a goal! Kevin Hatcher, and the Capitals go in front 3-2.
This team is crying out for a big play from one of its stars, and one of its young stars makes a beauty. Kevin Hatcher, sensing he's got some room, takes it in deep, follows things up, converts on the rebound of his shot. Look at that fake to take Rouse out of position, and then he just goes right back in on it. Taco gives him a room service rebound, sending it right back out into Kevin Hatcher's range. This is a beautiful play. Look at that little outside move to get Rouse spinning, and then nobody takes him once he finishes up the shot. Taco gives up that rebound, and Hatcher converts. Capitals strike quickly on the power play and regain the lead in this hockey game. Huge play by Kevin Hatcher.
An unassisted goal for Kevin Hatcher. Time of the goal, 5:44. Hatcher's third goal of the season. And it's a power play goal, as have been all three of the Washington goals. Shot on net and the save made by Malarchuk. Hatcher with it to the corner. And Ledyard starts out to Dale Hunter. Hunter gets across the blue line. Tries to center in front, just missing John Druce, and the puck comes all the way to the blue line point. Courtnall takes it back in, and Washington is offside. Let's check in downstairs right now with Jeff Rimmer.
An unusually busy Tuesday night in the National Hockey League. Number of Patrick Division teams involved in action tonight. First off, the Spectrum in Philadelphia. The Rangers are on the board, but they still trail Philadelphia by 1. They're into the third period there. It's Calgary now skating out to a 4-1 lead in the second period at the Nassau Veterans Coliseum. New Jersey still leading St. Louis now by 2 goals. Boston and the Nordiques are in a battle. They're tied up 4-4 in the third. Back upstairs.
Thank you, Jeff. Crowd tonight, 11,345. You know, Hatcher scoring that goal and taking an offensive posture on that play. He had 4 shots on goal in the first period. Another player for the Capitals who's done a lot in the shooting department tonight, Steve Leach, who also had 4 in the first period, 2 in the second. They're far and away the top shooters for either club in this game.
And coming into this period, Christian and Ridley did not have shots on goal, and Mike Gartner only 1.
Here's a shot wide, chased by Broughton to the corner in the Washington zone. Langway grabs him. De Palma throws to the point, but it comes all the way out to center. Musil back to chase it. Over to Hartsburg. Here's Sheehy to the corner. And out to center ice. Hartsburg across the line. Wrist shot, gloved by Malarchuk. He holds on to stop play. You know, there's certainly a lot of thinking that goes into selecting a captain. What type of a leader do you want on your club? What type of player possesses the leadership abilities that has the talents on the ice to back them up? You know, the 2 captains in this game, Craig Hartsburg for Minnesota and Rod Langway for Washington, were once on the same team in Birmingham in the World Hockey Association. In about 1977-78, those 2 were in the same lineup for the Birmingham Bulls. Remember, with a lot of other stars.
All the young players they had. Rob Ramage was down there. A lot of good young talent jumped out. Langway's case jumped out of college, and the other people jumped out of junior hockey before they were drafted to go down and play professional hockey for the Bulls.
Here's Gartner on the right wing. Dumps it across the line. Druce to the corner. Out comes Warren Babe. Drops it at the point. The shot's on net. Malarchuk makes the save and gets an arm out there to try and push Dave Archibald away. Here's Stevens to the corner. Drews to center. Stars dump it in. They change up on the fly as Murphy works to center ice. Now the puck shot right into the Washington bench. Peters reaches up with a brand new white glove and makes a nice save. Probably stopping Bob Gould from getting another cut.
As if that face needs more stitches.
And Peters teasing Gould about it too.
So that goal by Kevin Hatcher really now is going to force a little bit of a change in the North Stars style. And remember, the North Stars played last night a tough Norris Division game against the Toronto Maple Leafs and beat the Leafs 5-4 on the road. So the North Stars have to be a little tired. I think they were going to be completely content to keep this thing close into the final minutes unless they got a real good scoring opportunity. And they started out the period just kind of dumping things down and making the Capitals do the work and conserving some of their energy. Now they're going to have to open it up a little bit, skate a little more. The Capitals can make them work like they're doing here, dumping it down into the other end. This will be icing, but take the North Stars now out of that little dump and chase game and turn it right back around them. Talked about some of the personnel moves that Pierre Pagé made in terms of benching some of his stars. Neil Broughton sat out last night along with Bob Rouse, Kurt Giles and Kurt Fraser. Fraser coming back and showing excellent work tonight, getting one of the goals and having another good scoring chance earlier. But he's not afraid to sit down some of these veterans. And remember, Giles and Fraser are two of the team leaders, very good guys in the locker room, and really stir things up. I think not only do you want to send a message to some of the other players, but also see who would step forward, who would lead. And I think he got some answers, particularly with the Dave Gagne.
Quick wrist shot by Cicerelli goes wide. Here's a drive by Chambers that's blocked. And now Hatcher and Bellows start up in front of the net. We've got a penalty call coming. It's going to be Hatcher for holding. At 8:27 of the third period, this will give Minnesota the power play and a chance to tie the game. It's going to be Hunter.
I think this was a little higher up in the play. Kevin Hatcher had his man tied up in front of the net. I think up farther up in that slot area, Dale Hunter came back. Call will be for holding at 8:27 on Hunter.
The North Stars, in 4 minutes of power play time thus far on the evening, have yet to register a shot on goal. Puck cleared back inside the Washington zone. Hatcher bumps off the glass, and Gustafson clears it all the way down the ice. Mo Mantha back for it. Kelly Miller in pursuit. Mantha back for Brian Bellows. Out to Broughton, and now to Hartsburg. Into the Washington end of the rink. Hatcher's there after it. Plays to the point. Hartsburg keeps it in. Miller clears it all the way down. Quick pass back to Mantha from the North Star goaltender, Kerry Taco. But again, Kevin Hatcher steals and clears. 1 minute to go in the penalty to Hunter. 10.5 minutes to play here in the third period. Washington leads this game 3 goals to 2. Brian Bellows to Craig Hartsburg. Back into the Washington zone, and Bob Gould whips it off the boards. Broughton keeps it in. Back to the point for Hartsburg. A wrist shot toward the net, blocked by Scott Stevens. And Stevens sends it all the way down the ice. Valuable time running off the North Star power play as Musil, taking his time coming out of the zone, cleared to Washington ice, and here's Neil Sheehy in the corner, tries to work it free. Chambers keeps it in, but throws to the other point man, Musil, hops over his stick. And the Stars finish off this power play, again not registering a single shot on the net. Out of the box comes Hunter. The Capitals are at full strength. Chambers in his own zone. Out to Gagne. Led ahead at the blue line, and the North Stars are offside as Archibald came in before Paschek. There's a break in the action with the score. The Capitals 3 and the North Stars 2.
Power play goal at 5:44 of the stanza by Kevin Hatcher, an unassisted power play score. Hatcher's third of the season.
Washington has outshot Minnesota 30-19 on the night. Penalty call coming up. Malarchuk plays it up the sideboards, and it looks like a slashing penalty is forthcoming here against the Caps. Time of the call, 10:56 of the third period, and Hunter, who just came out of the box, is now headed right back in.
Well, the Capitals had to know. I mean, with all the power plays they've had earlier in the evening, things tend to even out, and they're going to have to be in a position to keep things cool. Now it looks like Bill McCreary is heading back over to the penalty timekeeper to either announce an additional penalty to somebody, or I guess Minnesota will take its time out. Pierre Pagé realizing a key opportunity for his club. They got nothing accomplished in the last time Hunter was in the box just a couple minutes ago, and now a chance to get back even in this hockey game. And he has his players over there, has his pad out. He's going to try and make a few adjustments. They certainly didn't get anything established down in front of Malarchuk. The Capitals did a nice job of making them take time, first of all, getting into the zone, and then once they were there, keeping everything out around the perimeter. Nothing got sent down front where Bellows was stationed, where Cicerelli was trying to weave his way in there. As Kevin Hatcher, Scott Stevens, Rod Langway did good work of keeping that area clear in front of Clint Malarchuk. So I would imagine that is where Pierre Pagé is going to try and make some adjustments to try and shake somebody free in front of Malarchuk. Boy, we got an opportunity. Mike Tatimer, who was one of our cameramen the last time we were up in Detroit, is down in the Washington area visiting, would like to say hi to his uncle and family back in Norfolk, Virginia, watching us tonight on Home Team Sports.
Well, the North Stars, with 6 minutes of power play time thus far, only 135 of that spent in the offensive zone, and no shots so far, will get another chance here to try and tie this game. Washington's lead at 1 goal. When it was 2-1, it turned out to be a slim lead, and Minnesota has to be thinking the same way right now. The Capitals presented them with every opportunity to tie the game up when they awarded them a shorthanded scoring chance that Minnesota's Stuart Gavin used to knot the score. Kevin Hatcher put Washington back in the lead, and with 8:40 to go, Dale Hunter's back in the penalty box, and the North Stars outnumber the Capitals on the ice right now, 5 skaters to 4. Langway sends it off the glass, and it settles into the seats. Hartford Whalers in town Friday night. It'll be Pete Peters' growth poster night. And then the Capitals move on to New Jersey for a game at the Meadowlands on Saturday evening. The North Stars, who have a horrible road record at 1-6-2, Washington has won 5-2, are home against Vancouver on Thursday and at home against the Rangers on Saturday. So they're hoping to pick up some points out of the Met Center after concluding this road trip. Tonight, only the second appearance for Minnesota against Patrick Division clubs. They lost an earlier encounter against Philadelphia during the season. That was played at the Met Center.
Unbelievable to you how few people are at the Met Center these days to watch the Minnesota North Stars?
The University of Minnesota's got 1,000 more season tickets than do the Minnesota North Stars, and that's just in season ticket holders, so that tells you something right there. Here's Hartsburg to Bellows. At the side of the net, Cicerelli goes in front, and a loose puck finally cleared by Stevens. Broughton couldn't get a handle on it right in front of the goal. Now it's broken up, and here's Gould chasing it out to center ice. He pushes it back inside the North Star zone. The Minnesota area, generally considered a real hockey hotbed in the United States, and is a hockey hotbed, but they aren't coming out to see the North Stars. Here's Ciccarelli's shot right on net, to save by Malarchuk. And the puck cleared out of the zone by Bob Gould. A hit by Francischetti that sends Mantha flying. Here's Bellows. At center point, winds and fires, and Malarchuk makes the save, dances left, then right, then holds on.
Malarchuk coming up with his best save since that sliding rob of Kurt Fraser in the first period. Stops Dino Ciccarelli. Now Ciccarelli has to stop and tee this up for just a moment. Looked like he may have had the one-timer opportunity, but he has to stop for just a second. And I know that helps Clint get over a little bit. Kevin Hatcher trying to supply some additional help. But when it gets on Ciccarelli's stick, he has to pause for just a second to get it right into the meat of the stick, right on the tape. And here's that second chance with Bellows driving the shot where Clint can handle it easily high up in the chest.
22 seconds left in the Hunter penalty and 7:26 to go now in the third period. Caps on top, 3-2. The draw comes to Stevens. He works it off the glass and clears it all the way down the ice. Kelly Miller, some aggressive forechecking to dig it free. Holding that puck in the corner. Taking on 3 North Stars, Kelly Miller, and he's still got them bottled up. The fans give him a hand. They appreciate it. Hunter goes back over to Gustafson. He's hauled to the ice, and now Archibald goes to the box for interference at 13:10 of the third period. In 6 seconds, Hunter will be out of the box.
Archibald basically just covering up for a mistake Sean Chambers made to allow Hunter to keep the puck in the zone. Let's check in downstairs with Jeff Rimmer.
Thanks, Al. Let's get everybody caught up to date on the latest out-of-town scores. Rangers still trailing the Flyers at the Spectrum in Philadelphia by 1. Calgary with a 3-goal lead over the New York Islanders in the second period. New Jersey leading St. Louis by 2. And it is Boston and the Nordiques tied 4-4 in the third period. They are close to overtime at the Colisée. Tomorrow night, the New York Islanders against the Canadiens with the form in Montreal. You'll see it live here on Home Team Sports. We're back here Friday night. The Hartford Whalers in town. We'll get things underway with the Capitals report at 7:30. Back upstairs now to Mike and Al.
Thank you, Jeff. I misread the clock. Dale Hunter has just come out, and he's at center. He'll have Ridley on his right, Gartner on his left. Murphy is back on the blue line along with Scott Stevens. Capitals get the draw. They're on the power play. Here's Murphy. Feeds it over to Gartner. Dekes his way in front. Knocked down by Taco. And to the point for Scott Stevens. He goes over to Hunter. Now back for Minnesota. Here comes Stuart Gavin, who did the job already once tonight shorthanded. But this time he's stopped by Stevens against the sideboard. Larry Murphy. Back to Scott Stevens. Left wing pass for Ridley. And Rouse dumps him on the play. Here's Gavin. Whacking it up into the crowd. And a fan comes out of it with a souvenir.
Substitutions now for Brian Murray's team. Hatcher and Ledyard will come out and work the points and to replace Stevens and Murphy. Dale Hunter remains at center. Ridley out there on the right side. Mike Gartner remains the left wing.
Hunter ready to go on the draw. Gets it to Ridley. Now back to Kevin Hatcher. Hatcher flips it off the glass. Gartner in the other corner. Muscled against the backboard. The puck cleared to the point, but not out. And now Bellows gets the stick up at Hunter. Those two swing at one another. Bill McCreary blew the whistle. I can only assume there's a penalty coming. And Hunter promises a future date with Bellows during this game if possible. There'll be time. They go off at 13:59. They could be teammates before too long.
Dale Hunter's shot is one indication that the thumb is better. I think the fact that he's getting some stick penalties is another sign that the thumb is better. He's using the stick a lot. Bellows, left-hand side, along with Hunter. Just continue to joust, slash, high stick. There's 4 penalties on each side you could call. High sticking will be the call to Dale Hunter and to Brian Bellows.
Still a minute 11 seconds remaining on the call to Archibald. So Washington's power play continues. 5 skaters to 4. And the Stars clear the draw the length of the ice. 1 minute to go now in Archibald's penalty. 5:50 to play here in the third period. Capitals lead 3-2. Hatcher drives it across the line. All the Washington goals have come on the power play. And they have the man advantage now. Hatcher keeps it inside the zone. It's a hand pass, though. Courtnall argues that Mark Hardy had touched the puck, and he may have a point.
I think he's got a real good point because both Courtnall and Van Gustafsson backed off of it to let Hardy play it. Hatcher, unquestionably, because that shot was careening around the glass, just knocked it down and batted it forward. Gustafsson and Courtnall did not touch it, I thought, and let Hardy make the play on it. Bill McCreary disagrees, and this faceoff will come outside of the zone with 41 seconds left in the Archibald call.
From the draw, it comes back to Murphy. Now over to Scott Stevens. He drives it inside the Minnesota zone. It takes a crazy hop off the corner boards and bounds right in front of the net. But nobody for either side able to get a stick on it. Here's Murphy. Back to center. To Courtnall. He's cross-checked to the ice by Rouse. Back to Scott Stevens with 12 seconds to go in the penalty. Capitals on the power play. Courtnall to the corner. Rouse ties him up. And the puck is cleared all the way down. That takes care of the penalty call to Dave Archibald. He's out of the box. And Minnesota at full strength on the ice with Washington. Here's Courtnall. Up the boards. Larry Murphy keeps it in. Tipped on net by Bob Gould. And a save made by Taco. Now Archibald on the left wing. Out to center ice. Gives to Musil. Musil across the blue line. And the Stars retreat to neutral territory to start over. Gould tosses it rink wide. Here's Scott Stevens to go after it. High sticks there between Ciccarelli and Francischetti. The puck goes in the crowd. And it looks like we'll have more penalty calls coming as the lumber carried above the shoulder from both Ciccarelli and Francischetti. And Francischetti doesn't get the earful from Ciccarelli. Bill McCreary does.
Number 20, Dino Ciccarelli of Minnesota. Number 25, Lou Francischetti of the Caps. Each get 2 minutes. North Stars penalty called on
Again,
Dino Ciccarelli.
left-hand side of your screen now in towards the middle. Francischetti bumping Ciccarelli. Ciccarelli responding with a shove, and then both get the sticks up on each other as they spin around. All that takes place right in front of Bill McCreary. That can't be a bad thing, though, for the Capitals, with Minnesota looking for the equalizer here to get dangerous Dino Ciccarelli off the ice for at least 2 minutes. Remember, if play continues because these are coincidental penalties, he has to wait until there is a stoppage in play. We've had some long stretches tonight where play has continued without a whistle.
Langway leans in and tries to pry it away from McRae. He's back of the goal. Hatcher takes charge and sends it up the right wing boards for Steve Leach. See the time remaining in the third period. Here's Leach across the line. Hooks as he goes to the corner. back passes, and Bruce has to go help him out. Now again to Stephen Leach, to the point for Langway. Kurt Fraser dumps it inside the Washington zone. Bob Gould. To Leach. Over to Langway. From the Minnesota zone, Mark Hardy charges to center. Bouncing shot stopped by Malarchuk. He gives to Scott Stevens. Gardner chases it back inside the Minnesota end, and a hard hit thrown behind the goal as Ivan Corvo gets jumped by Hardy. Gardner jumps into that. The man who was knocked down is Mo Mantha, and I mean, he really had his chimes wrong as he was hit hard. Ivan Corvo really stood up Mantha and hit him high and hard, and Mantha dropped to the ice like a load of bricks. And Hardy came to his defense. Gardner jumped in, and we'll see how all of this turns out. Corvo is really being held by that new linesman Murphy, who's got a grip on his arms, and Corvo has a lot of strength. But Ivan now heads away, and there's Mo Mantha, who looks like he's at least conscious. But for a time, as hard as he went down, you had to wonder about that.
I didn't see Bill McCurry's arm up in a penalty calling position.
No.
That's not to say one will not be called, and if this is against Corvo for charging or something, critical time of the game, let's see if a penalty is deemed, or did he just catch him with a good check with the head down? Now, Mantha's got the head down. And, you know, he kind of turns it. There's no question Ivan Corvo's looking to lay him out. But he's got the head down and then turns into him, which probably made that look a little worse than it was.
His gloves were down. If anything, he charged him.
Yeah, I mean, I think there could be a penalty called against him, but it did look like it was going to be as flagrant as it may have turned out at first look because of the way Mantha had the head down and really turned into Corvo.
Minnesota. Hardy. He's gone. He's gone. Mark Hardy's got 2 for cross-checking. Corno's got 2 for roughing. Gardner's got a game misconduct. Okay?
Well, it sounds like this won't cost the Capitals. Corvo, roughing, Hardy cross-checking. Mike Gardner, though, is out for being a third man in, apparently. Game misconduct.
That would be a correct call from the way we saw it up here, as Gardner jumped in to help his teammate. But that is not allowed according to the rules, so he's given a game misconduct penalty. Well, Mantha made it back to the bench and did not even require any help from North Star trainer Dave Supernant. I think Mo's had that nose hit a couple times before. Scott Stevens listening into the explanation here from Bill McCreary. Bob Rouse standing by as well. And now Brian Murray's club will be down, and here come the penalty calls.
Minnesota, number 5, Mark Hardy, 2 minutes for cross-checking. Washington penalty to number 26, Ivan Corvo, 2 minutes for roughing. Washington penalty number 11, Mike Gardner, a game misconduct. Time of the penalty, 17:01. Minnesota penalty number 5, Mark Hardy, 2 minutes for cross-checking. Washington penalty number 26, Ivan Corvo, 2 minutes for roughing. Washington penalty to number 11, Mike Gardner, a game misconduct, third man in. Time of the penalties, 17:01.
Now I think the final result of the penalty calls is probably pretty accurate. I wonder if Bill McCreary really saw Corvo throw the hit, though. He called it roughing.
Could have given him charge, as we talked
But it's
about.
still 2 minutes in any case.
I think Brian Murray wanted to know why Gardner really got the third man in, because there wasn't really a fight going on, but there was an altercation developing, and he did jump in on Mark Hardy.
He grabbed him from behind. But with only 2:59 left, the Capitals lose Gardner. Hardy and Corvo with the minors, so it doesn't affect the manpower on the ice. Time of the call, 17 minutes and 1 second of the third period. Here's Mike Ridley across the blue line. Tries to find Kelly Miller. The puck goes to the corner. Terry Taco behind the net. Back to the point. Scott Stevens. Behind the Minnesota goal. Kelly Miller to the corner. To the point, it gets away from Ledyard, and he chases it all the way out to the Washington blue line. Scott Stevens. Preston Miller. Here's Drews. Back to center ice. Hatcher throws it across the line, but also across the glass and into the seats.
Now Hartsburg and Drews engaged with one another. You look at John Drews' totals, no points in 2 games, yet 12 minutes in penalties, and he really hasn't done much. The penalties, one penalty he took was basically because he got charged by Walt Podubny and had to basically protect himself. The other one was he was involved in a situation where somebody else committed an act that he was involved in holding the guy off of. That guy was going to get a misconduct, and he just happened to be holding the guy and seemed to get one as well. So he really hasn't, for his 12 minutes, really hasn't gotten a full crack at committing a clean penalty.
Well, the Islanders losing big to Calgary tonight, 3rd period. And the Flames are on top 4-1. Roberts, Hunter, Gilmore, and Mullen all scored for the Flames, and Brent Sutter with a lone New York Islanders score. Capitals can gain some ground on New York. Washington can hold on for the win here. 2 points separate the teams coming into these games. Out at center ice. Here comes Chambers across the line to Stuart Gavin. He's slap shot, blocked. Malarchuk makes the save and looks for a rebound, and now Gustafson helps him out at the side of the net. It's cleared out to center. Burknall races after it. Jams up with Gavin. The line comes Courtnall. Taken away by Momento, who's back out there. Didn't miss a shift. Across the line, but offside as he played with the puck right at the blue line. Gagne was already in.
Terry Taco had made his way over to the Minnesota bench. We'll see if he stays there. He'll probably just be back up there high outside the goal. With 1:08 left here, Paget will have him pulled as soon as he sees his North Star team gain control of the faceoff and dump it into the capital end, because the faceoff will be outside the blue line.
You know, we talked about these North Stars being a lot of newcomers and some no-names in the lineup. I just realized who I miss after all these years. It seems strange to see this team play and not have Keith Acton out there.
Yep. Or Dennis Maruk as well.
Maruk, of course, just about ready to come back from a broken kneecap that happened last year. Bob Brook out because of a shoulder injury. Stars had scratched Ruskowski, Habscheid, Martin, McClellan, and Blake Gates for this game. We're in the final minute of play. The North Star net is empty. Here's Franceschetti clearing it across the blue line to Stephen Leach. He walks in, a backhand shot, hits the post, rebound shot, and a goal by Bobby Gould.
Boy, there's a lot of poetic justice in that goal. This line has earned their pay tonight. They have been the dominant line for the Capitals and really have nothing to show for it, except they continued to hustle and get penalties taken against them that the Capitals power play finished off. But it's a shame Stephen Leach couldn't have picked up the goal. He hits the goalpost. He's the guy who has worked so hard tonight. Bobby Gould comes in to finish it off in the open net for his 4th of the season. And Lou Franceschetti, who's the guy who chopped it out of the zone and got it ahead to Stephen Leach, picks up the other assist. Gould from Leach and Franceschetti.
Capitals lead 4-2 thanks to the empty net goal. The puck taken behind the net by Rouse. He steers it up the boards, and at the point, Hatcher keeps it in. Now the North Stars come back. At the blue line. Mitch Messier throws it over the glass and into the crowd. With only 20 seconds left here in the third period.
Gary Tocco has pretty much done his part tonight. Capitals with 33 shots. He stopped 30 of them. North Stars have slowly closed that gap as they've come on pretty well in this third period. Now the Capitals with a 33-26 lead in the shots, but that all-important 2-goal margin on the scoreboard.
Only 12 seconds to play. Ledyard out to center ice. Gould throws it across the line. Back in Minnesota ice is Messier. He's checked by Franceschetti. His time runs out, and the Washington Capitals pick up 2 important points here in beating the Minnesota North Stars. Their record now 6 wins, 9 losses, and 2 ties, and they advance to 14 points. And if the Islanders lose, Washington will be tied with New York and out of that last spot in the Patrick Division race. The North Stars remain at the bottom of the Norris Division, 5 points behind the Chicago Blackhawks. Their record now 3-12-3 on the season. Shots on goal in the third period. Minnesota had 13, a game total of 26, so they really came on in the third, more than doubling their shot total from either of the other 2 periods. And in the third period for Washington, the Capitals coming up with 8 shots, and that gives them a game total of 33 for the night. Well, tonight we talked about a man who had an awful lot of shots on goal during the earlier portion of the game.